Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to my community show. This is a show, in case you don't know, is where I try to involve the community in certain things and stuff and whatnot. Or, as is the case, or until I get bigger and have more people to actually have a community with. In this case, it's going to be about something else. See, last week I did a whole my opinion on the console wars. This week, I just finished the game Claire. I feel like I did not give that game a proper shake, a proper review at the end. Now, that's kind of important to me because I want you to understand that I did like that game. I hated the ending because I got the bad ending. I didn't give it a proper shake because I was a little disappointed in the ending. Now, true, bad ending, my bad. That brings me to a little bit of thing I always talk about when it comes to games like that. Never, ever, unless you are the ultimate BA at games, play on the hardest difficulty your first time through. Unless, of course, you're playing a game that is literally just go in, shoot bad guy, blah. If it's a story game, never play on the hardest difficulty. That's why I always play on normal and sometimes easy even. It's important, and here's why. When you play on the hardest difficulty, you're bound to always get frustrated. I did a few times. In fact, I have a whole episode which I call I'm Just Spinning My Wheels because I literally did nothing that entire episode except die. I got nowhere, got nothing accomplished, got lost, and that was it. Frustrating. Now, of course, some people are going to argue with me and say, oh, I can't enjoy the game if it's too easy. I'm like, okay then. If that's what you like it, then do it that way. But if you want to savor the story and enjoy it, then I strongly recommend never doing hardcore, hardest difficulty, nightmare, whatever they call it, grounded mode. Never play the game on that until you've beaten it, because you'll never enjoy the story or the game. Claire. Obviously, this was a game about purgatory. What I was surmising that she had somehow managed to get herself stuck in purgatory because she blamed herself for her family. Well, at the end there, we find out she killed her mom. Now, I might be misinterpreting that, but I'm pretty sure that's what that symbology was that Claire killed her mom at the end and then killed herself. And that's how she ended up in purgatory and blamed herself for it. And that was the whole, if they save you, they will have questions part. That was what they were saying, why is she dead? What happened to your mom? Do you deserve to be saved? And if they save you, I was like, Jesus, that was heavy. And admittedly, that took me a little bit blindside there. I anticipated the fact that Claire was dead or dying and that Claire somehow blamed herself for something, but I did not see that she may have killed her mom, because throughout the entire story, it seemed like she just was loving her mom, supporting her mom, taking care of her mom. And that goes into a bigger thing, people who suffer physical and mental problems like that can really be a drain on people around them. And I'm not blaming them. Like Claire's mom, she literally had nothing to do with the fact that she was crippled, mentally incapacitated, essentially comatose for the rest of her life. She had nothing to do with that, at least as far as we know, and it wasn't at all her fault. And Claire taking care of her like she did was really big of her. But that drains people. That is a weight on people, and it holds them down. People just don't understand just how bad that can be until they've actually been in a situation like that. And they're like, oh, you're so good. You're taking care of these people. And on the inside, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, God, I hate that I have these bad thoughts in my head. Kind of makes me wonder if it wasn't just a combination of that and the fact that Claire may have found out about Ethan before, doing what she did. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder. I mean, it's kind of tricky that way, Did she finally snap under the weight of having to take care of her mom, who's supposed to be her mom? Or did she find out that she had killed Ethan? and snapped that way. I mean, you literally know nothing throughout all the purgatory about Ethan. Just kind of vague hints about, your family being bigger, and then you start to uncover things, and it's like, oh, Ethan, I have a brother? What? Who's this? Who's this in this picture, Mom? Oh, that's your brother. I killed him. Oh, no, she didn't say that. And Claire had a rough life. I mean, I could tell you a thing or two about a bad childhood, but it's a bad one. I mean, Mom, not very open, not very supportive. Dad, supportive only when he's there, and drunk a lot of the time. Serious problems with that. Now, see, this is one thing I love about indie games. I mean, independent developers have no expectations hoisted on them other than make sure your game works if you want people to play it. I mean, you look at these big AAA games and they have expectation. You have to have the best graphics. You have to have the most intuitive gameplay. You have to have the best of everything. Oh my God. And so a lot of the times the AAA games will fall flat because all of these expectations, and they can't rise up to meet them. Especially, I mean, I was discussing about console versus PC and stuff, and I have to go back to Skyrim for this one. Big AAA game, big name game. Worked perfectly fine for my brother's PC. On my PlayStation, I literally came to the point where I was going to boycott Bethesda because none of their games worked properly on my PlayStation. I was so furious because I loved Skyrim and playing through it, and then I'd get really big, and then suddenly everything would just drop. No fun. But they have these big expectations put on them, and for that, Dawn Guard and all the other DLCs for Skyrim never came out or what they eventually did, admittedly, for the PlayStation. But the game was broken enough to the point where it was almost unplayable in some cases. But indie games, they have these no expectations. And this is part of the reason why I want to go to PC, is because they have such a wide variety, a wide open market for indie games. And I love these games, and I love independent developers. I mean, look at games like Claire. The graphics, for lack of a better word, are crap. No offense. Their game, that's the type of graphics I played when I was a kid. I've grown up past those graphics. But as you can look at my other games, Final Fantasy VII still ranks as my number one favorite game of all. And the graphics on that are crap. But, so, graphics aren't very important. And indie games aren't tied to this. You have to be the best graphics. So instead, they focus on the story. And now, admittedly, some indie games fall flat. Yes, because you get people who want to make the next biggest best thing. Outlast, independent game, beautiful game. Octodad, kids game, terrible controls, but that was kind of the point. Stuff like that. I loved Octodad too, by the way, just to get frustrated with it. Anyway, but there's so many, just different things. Independent games like Claire can focus on whatever they want. They're not tied to these expectations. Deep story. I'm going to go back and I'm going to play through and I'm going to get the good ending because I need to know. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to reveal it to you guys, because I want you guys to go through and play the game, and I don't want to ruin it for you, because games like that are basically all story, and if I spoil the entire story for you, then you're not going to want to play it. So you've seen the bad ending if you watched all my videos on my channel, and if you haven't, then there were spoilers in this video, so be careful. Anyway, that's all I got to talk about today. Oh yeah. There's going to be some revamping. I'm hoping to get Resident Evil in the lineup here soon. I got my live stream coming up in a little bit. And hopefully Friday and Saturday. Friday and Thursday. What the heck am I talking about? Friday and Saturday will go as well as I'm hoping. So live stream later today. And Friday and Saturday, I'm going to live stream for a few hours. And yes, I'm going to have Potato Nana in there with me. Anyway, so tune into those, hopefully, and here's hoping we can raise some money and get my Kickstarter done. I'm going to provide the link here, too, as well as in the video I just did. Yeah, that's all I got to say for tonight. So, tune in next time. Bye.